So let's begin with a short discussion on the nature of taxonomies. Patrick Lamb uses the metaphor of a taxonomy being a lens that we use to perceive and talk about the world we live in. And I love that idea of language being a lens into the world.
Yeah, it's tricky because some people would think of taxonomy as the final picture, but really they give us pictures to learn about what is actually true, right? They bring attention to details that otherwise would get lost in the complexity. So the assumption is that the truth is already there. We're just trying to sharpen and bring into focus.
That's right. And so they can help us document and understand a system. They help us align our understanding with others because, as one of I was trying to explain what we did to somebody, and they're like, oh, you would give us a structured way to talk about our world, right? When you give somebody that taxonomy, those key labels and how they relate, it's a structured way so that people can talk to each other in a shared language as opposed to talking past each other like we so often do. And so taxonomies can be thought of as a lens is one metaphor, another is a kind of map.
Right. And a good map doesn't try to capture all the detail, but it has to have a similar structure to the world being mapped. It has to be a way of understanding where you're trying to go with some agreed upon common reference.
Yeah. And, you know, you'd never mistake this picture from Korzybski for Gray's Anatomy, but there's enough detail there to understand what it is that's being trying to communicate. It that the way you position your body allows force to be applied in a particular way, and so it suffices. It works as a map of what needs to happen. Now, taxonomies then are maps that are made of language.
Right. A linguistic map. And it's funny we talk about the word linguistic here, and people think immediately of collections of words like paragraphs and things like that. Linguistic just means that you ultimately can express the understanding using language, but you might still use a visual model. As it's just what's really important is it helps us understand a domain by highlighting how important structures in the domain relate to each other. And ultimately, language is a way to describe that. And any model you use is going to have to turn into language in order to really map it and make sure it's accurate.
Yeah, yeah. And so the value then of the map is how well do those abstractions correspond to the structures of the territory that's actually covered?
Yeah, I mean, language is in itself an abstraction. It always is, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So you always have to start from some assumption that you're not getting to the essential fundamental reality. You're getting to an understanding of that reality, so everyone can work on it together.